We've got 2011 schedule. We've got a member list as well, so you know who is coming next and their contact information, so on and so forth. Pull out a check on, check off form, and you're going to use that mostly for your check on. Grab one of these usage invoices before you leave and fill that out before you leave. But most of the information that we need on this, you can just put your last name, put the week number according to the schedule. And then also the dates that correspond with that week number. It just helps us for the invoicing and everything else, is to use your week number plus the year. So anyway, as you go through this, just go through checking all of these on the on and then all of these on the off. So we talked a little bit about the hours. Make sure that you write those down before you fire everything up. Same thing with the off, when you guys are done. You can just take those same hours and transpose them onto this. But you're going to check your oil. You're going to check your battery level. Just make sure that your batteries are good. If the batteries are dead, like you said, Bruce, I want a note right there saying battery's dead. Yeah, when I checked on. It was charging when I checked off. If we go through and there's 6 of these, well, the battery's been dead for the last 6 weeks.
Hello?
Yeah, there's something that is not happening. Something going on there. So, same with the oil. If it's good, just make a check mark. If it's not, maybe explain why it's not good. So, any questions there? That's the port engine, starboard engine, and generator. I think we've gone through all of that. Power steering. Make sure that, it's all you're checking there is that your steering's working. As you turn the steering wheel, that your indicator's moving back and forth. You've got power steering fluid back there. You're going to check the props. If you've got one damaged prop, mark it here on your check on. Let's get it fixed. So, if there's just small rough edge or something like that, I'm not concerned about it, but I've come down here and there's been, a 2 or 3 inch chunk taken out of one of the blades. So, and then there's a cleaning section right here. Is what we wanted. We just want to make people accountable. Make sure that the boat's clean when you leave. Make sure, I just like having a checklist, you know what I mean? If you've got 10 or 12 people here, just write their names next to who's cleaning it, who's responsible, and check it off when you're done. This is inventory stuff that you need to be accountable for as well. Dock balls, fenders, that's going to need to change, but we've lost a few planks, we've lost a few anchors, we've lost a few ropes or rakes or shovels. Write down here on your check on how many of each of those there are. So, right here, this is probably one of the most important sections, I feel like, is make yourself a list throughout the week. Just leave this on the clipboard. We were down here, we need Ziploc bags, we need, you always need something. But it says right here, please call the next owner and let them know. Just like Dave talked about, make sure that you call them. These are all the things that need to be shut off. The lake water, the fresh water, the hot water heater, the propane upstairs, make sure that they're closed. What's the deal with the propane? When do we fill propane?
When it's empty.
When it's empty.
We bring our own.
Okay. What do you do with the bottles that are up there then, that are already connected in? You disconnect them and connect your own?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is what you could do is just use it until it's empty, then connect your own and take the empty one home with you. So anyway.
So you're just switching them out when there's an empty one.
Exactly.
Whoever gets
We're not
the
taking.
bad luck
There's
of-
They charge you the full price, whether you fill 5 gallons or 10 gallons or 15
There's
gallons.
5 bottles on the
Better
boat.
up top, you could-
We're not going to take all 5 bottles and have them refilled.
Right.
Yeah.
And our average has been we go through about 1 a week.
Yeah. It's about
just
7
bring
gallons a
one from
week.
home.
So yeah, every other week you may have to fill 2 bottles rather than 1 bottle.
So you said there's 5, but there's 2 upstairs.
There's 4 upstairs.
There's 4 upstairs.
There's 2 upstairs that are connected, and there's 2 extra.
Well, we started bringing our own is because
Barbecue.
at the gas tank they're supposed to have them. Maybe
Yeah.
they've changed it.
A lot of times
but
they
don't
don't.
have them, and so you're like, okay, now what do I do? Okay,
Well,
I gotta
and now they
schlep it up
have.
the hill,
I
grab
was
it,
going to
bring
say
it
now
back.
they have a fill right here on the gas tank
Mhm.
as well, but it takes forever. So if you're more comfortable bringing your own or whatever, but I don't expect people to disconnect them, fill it, and be like, okay, that one took 0.7 gallons. Or
Right, I
the
see what you're
barbecue.
saying. Yeah.
The barbecue. I mean, that thing will last 3 weeks
Right.
on it.
At least.
Yeah. So you're not using much fuel off of that. So anyway, that's the deal with the propane. If the bottle's empty, fill it. If it's not empty, leave it. Or like on the propane, if you lift it up and it fills really light, just fill it up. You know, if it's mostly full, I wouldn't worry about it. The refrigerators and freezer. What's our policy for turning those off, leaving them on? What do you do?
We leave the refrigerators on and we disconnect the freezer.
Okay.
That's what we usually do. Clean it and disconnect it, right,
But
Jen?
during high season, don't you leave the freezer?
That's what I would do. I think we need to require making a phone call to the next owner. Hey, when are you coming down? Our trip went great. These are the things that we need to do. You need to bring with you. You're coming on Sunday. Awesome. We'll just leave the fridges and the freezer on for you. Be nice and cold when you guys get here. Oh, we're not sure if we're coming down next week. We still haven't made a plan. Okay. Let's just shut them off and leave them open.
Leave them open.
We've
That's the
been
biggest thing.
we've been down here twice when the owner before us has left them on, and there's been a power outage on the slip, and so it's shut off the fridges. Now they're all moldy and gross inside, and you're spending 2 hours to clean them. So if there's a power outage and it's a day, it's not even a big deal. They'll stay cool for that long. So,
Yeah, that's the setting they say leave it on AC.
leave it
No.
on AC, exactly. Not on auto,
Right.
on
And
AC.
that'll-
It'll. So the refrigerators. Let's talk about that for a second. They'll run on, I mean, basically 4 different systems, right? They'll run on gas,
propane again.
AC, and DC. But with the AC, you've kind of got 2 different ACs, right? You've got the generator or the shore power. So if it's on auto, it can just cycle through whatever it wants to. So when we're out on the lake, we just leave them on gas or LP the whole time.
That's a good idea too, because if they'll drain the batteries pretty quick.
Yeah.
If they're on auto and they flip to DC, they'll drain your batteries fast.
Especially if, like,
They'll
let's
tell you when
say,
they're out of propane too.
yeah, I was going to say,
Let's
if you're,
talk about
if
that.
you're out of propane, you know what I mean? Your water heater runs out the propane, or your fridges or whatever.
They beep like crazy.
Yeah, it'll just automatically go to DC. So they either need to be shut off or you just need to get the propane going again. So one thing as well with the propane, when you turn that off, it'll take out your pilot lights, right? So when you turn it on, get your pilot lights going again, you've got a lot of gas hose to bleed that line of air. So I've had people call me and say, hey, our oven's not lighting, this isn't working. And that's all it is they've changed a bottle or changed the tank up there. Also, too, I don't know that a lot of people know that tank selector is basically backwards. So if it's on the left side, it's drawing out of the right side tank. Vice versa, if it's switched to that side, it's drawing off the other side tank.
First, I remember where the pilot light
I was
was.
going to show you where the pilot light
I
was.
found it one time.
There's one down there, all the way in the
All
back
the way
in
in
the
the
middle.
back there, and then
There's
2.
two up
Stove
here.
tops.
So you just gotta wait for
So you have to do all 3 then.
full propane.
What I
Bleed
do,
that line before you
Yep.
find
They're
line.
going, man.
what I do is I
A lot of
first
in the back.
just turn on the